The Consolidated Outlands Nomad was a surprise unveil at the 2950 IAE, with only snippets of information known in the run-up to the event. CNOU's Tier 2 starter slots right in between the ubiquitous Avenger Titan and Cutlass Black, but is it any good? To find out, grab your towel and come along to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Verse.
Quantum travel initiated.
Usually we begin these videos with a disclaimer that these reviews are only for buying ships in-game, never with real cash. However, as the Nomad is a Tier 2 starter, we're going to make an exception. With that in mind, this review will be to determine whether the Nomad is worth taking as a starter ship or first upgrade, and thus with real cash as well as with in-game credits. Now with that out of the way, the Consolidated Outlands Nomad. Released in lore, well today, CNOU described the Nomad as the versatility of a medium-sized multi-purpose freighter packed into a stylish compact frame. Many people, even CIG themselves it seems, have already taken to comparing the Nomad to a Tesla Cybertruck, with CIG themselves poking fun at said car's unveiling in their own marketing. GG guys. Others have compared it to the ASP Explorer from another certain space sim whose name I shall not mention, but you all know exactly what I'm talking about. I kinda think it looks like a horseshoe crab myself, which, fun fact, aren't actually crabs. But does it handle like a horseshoe crab? At 228,000 kilos, or 228 tons, it's definitely heavier than the little guys, but it's still a fair bit more spry, with its twin main thruster banks pushing it forward at 6.4 G to an SCM speed of 179 meters per second, and a max speed of 1171. It's no fighter craft, but it can move respectably in a straight line. Stopping and strafing is a little sluggish mind. With only 2.4 G of reverse thrust, you'd be better suited to decouple, spin it around, and burn backwards. As for spinning around, again it's no fighter craft, but it's not terrible. With 55 degrees per second of pitch, 60 degrees per second of yaw, and 120 of roll. Interestingly enough, this falls right between the Cutlass and the Titan. Take the Nomad planet side, and it handles pretty good, so long as you keep moving. Thanks to its thin disc-like profile, it skips effortlessly through the air, being comfortable to handle and feeling much like it does in space, making it easy to get accustomed to. Hovering, however, is a different story, with the Nomad feeling sluggish at best. Let's talk function. The Nomad's glaring feature is, of course, the fact that it floats even when landed. I mean, who knew Graveler could be used that way, right? In all seriousness, it's the external cargo bay, or truck bed if you like. Sporting 24 SCU of cargo space, it again falls right between the Titan and the Cutlass in capacity. The cargo bay also just so happens to be the exact same size as a Greycat Rock, and carrying said vehicle is entirely possible with the Nomad, although it can be a bit buggy. Just remember to ratchet it down first, there's no tailgate. Internally, the Nomad lives up to its name, being, for all intents and purposes, a space VW camper, with a locker, a toilet, although no shower, as well as some component access in the foyer, with a bed and kitchenette, complete with slide-out chair in the main section. Stepping into the cockpit, and we find a great view of the surroundings thanks to the encompassing canopy. Yes, there's struts, but these never really feel obtrusive, even in combat. Talking of combat, how does it stack up? With 3 size 3 hardpoints split between the nose and dorsal fin, which are gimbaled size 2s by default, the Nomad has a reasonable amount of firepower for its size, matching the Gladiator Arrow. Bizarrely, this is actually the one spot that the Nomad falls behind both the Titan and the Cutlass, although it does make up for it in self-propelled ordnance. With 8 custom size 2 missile tubes, the Nomad packs enough kaboom to again match up with the light fighters. On the defensive side, the Nomad is once more in the middle of the group. With 5,800 hull HP, it's less than a Titan, but more than a Cutlass. And with 3 size 1 shield generators, it sits comfortably between the Titan's 2 size 1s and the Cutty's 1 size 2. On paper, the Nomad should be decent in combat. However, its inability to move quickly in any direction that isn't forwards is, in reality, a major hindrance that impacts its combat prowess drastically. Let's talk looks and design. This is, of course, fully subjective, but it's actually not that bad in the looks department. The Nomad kind of looks like a spaceship from a 60s cartoon with a cargo rack bolted to the back, and this will no doubt appeal to some. Internally, it's well designed too, with space utilised well and little space wasted. Sure, it feels small, but then this is meant to be a compact design. Also, that hovering landing gear is certain to help you win the annual New Cabbage ship skating contest. So, is there a place for the Nomad? CIG have done an excellent job of placing the ship directly between what are probably the two most common and revered ships in the game, and with that alone, the Nomad will no doubt gain just as much of a cult following. It beats the Titan in amenities and cargo, whilst falling short of the Drake in utility. Although it's not a Drake, so kind of wins there, I guess. So Titan owners, time to upgrade, yeah? Okay, here goes. I can't do it. Look, the Nomad is a great ship, it really is, but it's not a cutty and it's not a Titan. Like I said, the ship will undoubtedly gain a cult following, but it just doesn't pull me away. For someone considering an upgrade from their Aurora or Mustang, you should seriously consider this ship, unless you're more into combat, in which case, just cross it off the list. For me, I'm staying Team Penguin. As for in-game purchase, if you're looking for something small to carry an ROC, this ticks every box. If you want a small class hauler with a decent quantum range, then until the Hull A reaches our hands, the Nomad is the ship that you're after. And that's all on that. Let us know your thoughts on the Nomad down below, and whilst there, remember to like, sub, etc, etc. And with that, well, thank you for watching, and we'll catch y'all next time.